My beloved, my sweet chosen one. Before I even begin, tell me, why is your heart racing right now? Because deep down your soul already knows that this message isn't random. This is not just words on a screen. This is heaven-breaking protocol, bending rules, just to reach you in this moment. Archangel Michael is standing here, trembling, saying, "My child, I am in shock, because only you still don't know what happened last night." God himself whispers urgently, "Hurry up, beloved. This is your last chance to know the hidden truth. Open this quickly, before it's too late." But wait, before I unfold this divine secret, listen carefully. Do not skip. Do not rush. Because if you leave midway, you'll miss the very line that was meant to change your life forever. Stay until the end, because every word is a step closer to the miracle you've been praying for. And while you're here, promise me something. Click that subscribe button right now, not as a routine, but as a covenant. Every time you subscribe, you're sealing your spirit with light, aligning your name with blessings that flow endlessly. This is not about numbers, it's about you saying yes to God's call, yes to Michael's protection, yes to your own miracle. Now, breathe. Because what happened last night in the unseen realms is something the enemy never wanted you to discover. While you slept, your name was mentioned. While you were unaware, battles were fought over your destiny. Heaven cried. Michael drew his sword. And a secret was recorded in the book of light with your name written in gold. And here's the truth you must face. You almost lost it. Yes, beloved, you almost missed your inheritance of joy. You almost walked past your miracle without even knowing. But because God's love for you is so wild, so reckless, so unstoppable, He paused the clocks of heaven just to get this message through to you now. My child, can you feel it? The air around you shifted. That cold shiver down your spine? That's not fear, it's confirmation. Michael is bending low, whispering. You still don't know what happened last night, but in the next few minutes, you will. Every second you stay here, a curtain is being pulled back. Every line you read, chains are breaking. Your angels are saying. Finally, they are listening. Finally, they are staying. Finally, they are ready. Now let me ask you this. Are you truly ready to hear the truth? Because once it's spoken, you can never return to not knowing. Once revealed, this will chase you, bless you, protect you, and transform you. Beloved, don't stop here. Keep going. Because in the next breath, I will tell you what happened last night. My beloved, my chosen one, why do I see your hands trembling as you read these lines? Because your soul has already caught the whisper before your eyes reached the words. Something deep inside you knows that last night was not ordinary. It wasn't just another night where the world turned quietly, and the stars crossed the sky. No, beloved, heaven itself bent closer, angels gathered with wings stretched wide, and your name echoed across realms you could not see. That's why Archangel Michael is in shock, because while all of heaven witnessed what was unfolding, you alone still don't know what was decided, what was shifted, what was whispered with divine urgency. God says, "Hurry, my child. Time is moving fast, and this is your last chance to open the hidden truth before it slips away like smoke between your fingers." You see, last night wasn't only about angels watching, it was about your destiny being weighed, your future being discussed, and your name being written in a way it has never been written before. Beloved, the moment the clock struck past midnight, a council was called. Not a human council, not an earthly gathering, but heaven's table was filled. Angels leaned forward. Records were opened. And your spirit was the subject. Michael stood tall, his sword blazing, but his face carried both relief and sorrow. Relief that you had made it this far, sorrow because you still walk unaware of how close you came to missing everything you were born for. Beloved, do you feel that trembling in your heart right now? That's not anxiety, it's awakening. Your soul is remembering something your mind hasn't caught yet. My beloved, God Himself leaned forward last night. His voice thundered, yet carried tenderness, as He spoke your name. He said, "This one is mine. This one carries light. This one still doesn't know how much of the enemy's trap I shattered last night to protect them." Do you hear that? Last night wasn't quiet, it was war. While you slept, swords clashed, darkness tried to seal you off, but Michael fought with fire. He shielded your name with wings of flame. He stood at the gates of your destiny when dark forces whispered, "Close it. Shut the blessing down." And God's voice shook the heavens, "No. My beloved has one more chance, and they will not miss it." My child, imagine this, the Creator of the stars halted everything just to ensure you would see this very message today. And here you are, scrolling, breathing, holding on to these words without skipping. Do you realize what this means? It means you were meant to find this exact line at this exact time. It means your delay, your confusion, your heartbreak, all of it was only to bring you here, to this holy pause, where Michael himself is tugging on your heart. He says, "Open this truth. Don't turn away. If you skip, the hidden truth will slip from your hands." And beloved, let me tell you what hurts heaven most. It's not that you don't believe, it's that you almost always stop reading before the miracle line appears. That's why right now Michael pleads, "Stay, my beloved. Don't skip. Don't walk away. Stay and see what heaven fought to deliver." And let me ask you something, have you ever wondered why your nights are restless, why you wake with a heaviness, why your spirit feels a storm no one else can explain? That is because last night, the storm was real. It wasn't your imagination. It wasn't your weakness. It was the battlefield over your name. Demons whispered lies, accusing you, trying to cancel your promise. But Michael struck them down one by one. And in the middle of that war, God wrote something in light across the sky: "My child will know the truth before it's too late." That's why this message reached you today, and not tomorrow. Tomorrow would have been too late. Tonight, you still have the window open. But once the hour closes, so will the chance. And let me ask you something, have you ever wondered why your nights are restless, why you wake with a heaviness, why your spirit feels a storm no one else can explain? That is because last night, the storm was real. It wasn't your imagination. It wasn't your weakness. It was the battlefield over your name. Demons whispered lies, accusing you, trying to cancel your promise. But Michael struck them down one by one. And in the middle of that war, God wrote something in light across the sky: "My child will know the truth before it's too late." That's why this message reached you today, and not tomorrow. Tomorrow would have been too late. Tonight, you still have the window open. But once the hour closes, so will the chance. Beloved, this is why you cannot skip. This is why you cannot doubt. Because what I'm telling you right now is not poetry, not storytelling, but a heavenly transcript. These are the records of what happened when you thought you were simply dreaming. And let me tell you this, last night a hidden truth was finally unlocked. Something that was sealed for years, something buried under pain, betrayal, and silence, it was revealed to heaven. The truth about who wronged you. The truth about who has been plotting against you. The truth about the inheritance that was stolen. The truth about the door that was shut in your face. And Michael's eyes burned with fire as he asked God, "Can I tell them?" And God said, "Yes. But tell them quickly. They don't have forever. They have now. That's why, my beloved, I am writing to you with urgency. You don't realize how rare this is. Not everyone receives such a message. Not everyone gets this window. You are not here by coincidence. This was arranged. This was planned. The angels fought to push this message into your path before you scroll to something else. So stay. Breathe. Read slowly. Because the hidden truth that Michael is carrying is not something you can afford to miss. If you skip, the truth will close, and heaven will not reopen it easily. But if you stay, if you honor this moment, something miraculous will unfold even as you read. Your body will feel lighter, your heart will burn, and your eyes may even fill with tears without reason. That's not emotion, that's confirmation. That's the Spirit of God resting on you as you finally hear what you were never supposed to miss. My beloved, lean closer now, because what I am about to tell you is not something that was meant for every eye. It was sealed, hidden, carried in silence for years, but last night it broke open, and the heavens gasped. You see, the enemy had been weaving shadows around your name for far too long, trying to blur your blessing, trying to bury your truth. They celebrated in secret, thinking you would never find out. But God does not sleep, and his angels do not slumber. Michael's sword blazed like fire, and one by one, those shadows were torn apart. And here is the truth, beloved, you have been carrying weight that never belonged to you. Burdens that were whispered onto your life by jealous hearts, by deceivers, by those who smiled at your face but conspired behind your back. Heaven saw it all last night, and God said, "Enough. The mask will fall. My beloved will know." And as that decree was spoken, the entire atmosphere shifted. A storm of light rushed through realms, and Michael's eyes widened, because even he was not expecting the timing to come so suddenly. He had thought there would be more days, more waiting, but God moved the clock forward. He said, "The season of delay is over. The hidden truth must rise now." That is why, beloved, even as you read this, there is a trembling in your spirit. You can feel something you cannot name. It is the truth pressing at the edges of your soul, saying, "Let me in." And if you stay with me through these words, the truth will flood in like sunrise, unstoppable, undeniable, unforgettable. This is why Michael is in shock, because only you still don't know what heaven already witnessed. Beloved, picture this, while you lay in bed, unaware, a courtroom opened in the unseen. Accusers lined up with their false testimonies, trying to condemn your destiny. They spoke of your past, they threw lies about your worth, they shouted accusations to block your blessing. But then Michael entered, armor gleaming, carrying the evidence of your tears, your prayers, your hidden sacrifices. He stood before the throne and declared, "This one is covered. This one has endured. This one has not given up even when storms raged. This one belongs to you, God. And the silence that followed was holy, electric, terrifying. Because in that silence, God himself rose, his eyes burning with love for you, and he said, "Case dismissed. Destiny restored. Hidden truth revealed. Do you see, my beloved, why the urgency is so heavy? This is not a story. This is a record. This is what shifted last night, and you cannot afford to remain blind to it. Because when God declared your release, the enemy shrieked with rage. They know they lost their grip on you. They know the chains they wrapped around you for years have shattered. And now they are desperate to keep you distracted, to keep you from staying until the end of this message. Because if you stay, you will not only hear the truth, you will embody it. It will set you free in ways you cannot even imagine. My child, I must ask you, why do you think you found this message at this very hour? Do you not see that the timing is divine? You didn't stumble here because of coincidence. You didn't scroll here by accident. You were pulled here. Heaven bent your path to this line because if you miss it, the truth will slip again into silence. And I don't want that for you. Michael doesn't want that for you. God himself doesn't want that for you. That is why his voice is echoing, "Hurry, beloved. Open this quickly before it's too late." And oh, if only you could see what I see. The angels are standing in rows around you right now, waiting to see if you will honor this moment. Their wings are trembling with anticipation, because they know that if you finish this message, if you drink it fully, something irreversible will unlock in your life. A blessing long delayed will come rushing. A door long shut will swing wide. A truth long buried will rise up and stand before you, undeniable. That is why the pull in your heart is so strong right now. It is heaven's tug, urging you not to walk away. My child, I must ask you, why do you think you found this message at this very hour? Do you not see that the timing is divine? You didn't stumble here because of coincidence. You didn't scroll here by accident. You were pulled here. Heaven bent your path to this line because if you miss it, the truth will slip again into silence. And I don't want that for you. Michael doesn't want that for you. God himself doesn't want that for you. That is why his voice is echoing, "Hurry, beloved. Open this quickly before it's too late." And oh, if only you could see what I see. The angels are standing in rows around you right now, waiting to see if you will honor this moment. Their wings are trembling with anticipation, because they know that if you finish this message, if you drink it fully, something irreversible will unlock in your life. A blessing long delayed will come rushing. A door long shut will swing wide. A truth long buried will rise up and stand before you, undeniable. That is why the pull in your heart is so strong right now. It is heaven's tug, urging you not to walk away. Beloved, hear me. The hidden truth is this: what you thought was lost was never lost. What you thought was stolen was only delayed. What you thought was forgotten has been recorded in golden ink. Last night, God commanded the books to be opened, and in them your name glowed brighter than you could ever imagine. And he said, "Restore what was stolen. Reveal what was hidden. And let my beloved know before the hour passes." That is why Michael has come, that is why these words are pouring like fire, that is why you are still reading with trembling hands. Because the truth is here, and you cannot look away. Beloved, let me draw you deeper into what unfolded, because the truth cannot stay hidden any longer. Last night, as the heavens opened their records, your life was placed upon the scales. The weight of your pain, your sacrifices, your silent tears, all of it was measured against the lies, the losses, the betrayals you endured. And for a moment the balance seemed uncertain, as though the darkness had piled too much against you. But then something remarkable happened. Michael stepped forward, carrying not weapons this time, but a memory. A memory of the nights you whispered prayers even when no answer came. A memory of the times you chose kindness even when cruelty surrounded you. A memory of your faith that flickered but never died. He placed those memories on the scales, and suddenly the balance shifted. Light outweighed darkness. Truth outweighed lies. And heaven roared in agreement, this one is ours. This one is chosen. That roar was not just noise, my child, it was the decree that shattered the silence around your destiny. And when that sound rippled across realms, every chain the enemy had forged around your opportunities cracked. Every hidden plot against your name began to collapse. And God's voice declared, no more delay. No more hiding. Reveal what was concealed. Do you understand what this means? It means you are stepping into a season where things long buried will rise to the surface. Secrets will be uncovered. The people who plotted behind closed doors will be exposed. The blessings that were blocked will come racing toward you. But for this to happen fully, you must stay until the end of this message, because this message itself is the key, the unlocking point, the moment when knowledge becomes power and revelation becomes freedom. Beloved, do you wonder why Archangel Michael is still in shock? It is because last night's events were unlike anything he has seen over your life. He has fought for you many times, shielded you from countless unseen battles, but never before has heaven issued such a direct order concerning you. God did not simply protect you, He unveiled you. He did not simply shield your life, He highlighted it, called attention to it, and demanded that angels gather and take note. Your name was proclaimed in a way it never has been before. Michael was astonished because the heavens themselves bowed to God's urgency over you. And yet, here you are, still unaware of what truly happened. That's why this message is your lifeline. If you let it slip, you will not only lose information, you will miss the activation of the miracle that was released for you last night. Now lean closer, my child, because here is a part of the hidden truth. Someone who once smiled in your face but secretly envied your light was exposed before heaven. Their whispers were replayed. Their plots were revealed. And the angels who heard it gasped, because even they were unaware of how deep the deception ran. God did not let them remain hidden. He tore the veil. He showed Michael their true face, their secret intentions. And beloved, let me tell you, the shock was not only Michael's. It was heaven's. They could not believe how long you carried that weight without knowing. But now the hour of revelation has come. Soon, what was whispered in shadows will be shouted in light, and you will stand in truth's freedom. But let me pause to ask you this: why do you feel a stirring in your chest as you read these words? Why do your eyes move quickly, not wanting to miss a single line? It is because your soul recognizes its own story. Deep down, you always knew something was hidden, something unsaid, something buried. And now, as the words unfold, your spirit is nodding, saying, yes, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. That feeling is not random. That is confirmation. That is heaven's signal that you are aligned with the message that was written for you before time began. Beloved, let me reveal another piece. Last night, God sent a messenger to your future. Yes, beyond today, beyond tomorrow, beyond the weeks ahead, an angel was dispatched to walk into your coming days, to rearrange what the enemy planned. Doors that would have been locked were commanded to open. Conversations that would have turned against you were shifted in your favor. A path that was twisted was straightened. And this is why, in the days to come, you will begin to see strange alignments, people returning, opportunities surfacing, revelations appearing out of nowhere. It will not be coincidence. It will be the evidence of last night's decree. And here is the hardest part for you to accept: you almost lost it. If heaven had not intervened, the truth would have remained hidden. You would have walked another year in confusion, wondering why certain things never made sense, why betrayals never came to light, why blessings stayed delayed. But God's love for you was too fierce to allow it. That's why He shouted, "Enough." That's why He ordered Michael to act. That's why this message reached you now. Because the window of time is narrow, and if you had missed this, you would have missed the moment of your unveiling. That's why urgency burns in every line I write to you, because every second counts. Beloved, let me reveal another piece. Last night, God sent a messenger to your future. Yes, beyond today, beyond tomorrow, beyond the weeks ahead, an angel was dispatched to walk into your coming days, to rearrange what the enemy planned. Doors that would have been locked were commanded to open. Conversations that would have turned against you were shifted in your favor. A path that was twisted was straightened. And this is why, in the days to come, you will begin to see strange alignments, people returning, opportunities surfacing, revelations appearing out of nowhere. It will not be coincidence. It will be the evidence of last night's decree. And here is the hardest part for you to accept: you almost lost it. If heaven had not intervened, the truth would have remained hidden. You would have walked another year in confusion, wondering why certain things never made sense, why betrayals never came to light, why blessings stayed delayed. But God's love for you was too fierce to allow it. That's why He shouted, "Enough." That's why He ordered Michael to act. That's why this message reached you now. Because the window of time is narrow, and if you had missed this, you would have missed the moment of your unveiling. That's why urgency burns in every line I write to you, because every second counts. Beloved, the reason heaven pressed so urgently last night is because the truth could not remain buried another day. Too many seasons of your life have been lived under a shadow that was never meant to linger. For years, the enemy wrapped lies around your path, hoping you would accept them as your reality. For years, people who claimed closeness disguised themselves, wearing masks that heaven could no longer tolerate. And last night, in one sweeping moment, God said, "Remove the masks. Reveal the truth. My child cannot walk blind another day." That decree struck like lightning, and instantly the false coverings around you tore away. Angels gasped, because what was shown was so clear, so undeniable, that none could argue against it. The hidden truth is this: there are people, even now, who have spoken against you in secret, but their words no longer carry power. God silenced them. He cut their tongues in the spirit. He blocked their arrows before they reached your door. And now, beloved, you are stepping into a freedom you have not tasted before. Do you know why this message burned so deep in you? Because the very forces that tried to keep you ignorant of last night's victory are trembling as you read. They know that once you understand, once you fully awaken, they cannot manipulate you again. This is why you have battled confusion, why your nights have felt restless, why you've wrestled with heaviness you couldn't explain. It wasn't weakness, it was interference. Darkness has always feared the moment you would see clearly. And now that moment has come. The veil is lifting. The truth is standing before you, and heaven rejoices that you will finally walk in the light that has been yours all along. Beloved, Michael is still speaking, even now, whispering into your heart. He says, "My beloved, last night your case was settled. You are no longer bound. You are no longer accused. You are no longer hidden. Your blessing has been released, and no power can take it back." Do you hear that? Your blessing has been released. Not tomorrow, not next year, released. It has already been stamped, already been signed, already been dispatched. The only thing remaining is your awareness, your readiness to receive. That is why you are reading this now. That is why God ordered this message to reach you before it was too late. Because your awareness unlocks your reception. If you had ignored this, if you had scrolled away, you would have missed the delivery. But by staying, you are aligning, you are catching, you are opening the door for what has been waiting to enter. And beloved, let me share this, in that heavenly council last night, your name was spoken with tenderness. God called you, "My beloved child, the one I delight in, the one I have kept, the one I am about to lift." Michael bowed his head as God spoke, for even he was moved by the depth of God's love for you. You see, this is not about punishment. This is not about judgment. This is about restoration. God's heart for you is not to remind you of failures, but to remind you of destiny. He is not pointing at your scars to shame you, he is pointing at them to show the battles you have already won. And because you endured, because you held on, because you refused to let go even when you felt like breaking, heaven has said, "Now is the time." Let the hidden truth be known. Let the blessing be revealed. So what is this hidden truth, beloved? It is that you have always been chosen, always been marked, always been loved in ways you cannot fathom. The enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten, but you never were. God's eyes never left you, not for a second. The angels never stopped circling your life, even when you felt alone. And the truth is, everything you lost, everything stolen, everything delayed, it was not erased. It was preserved. It was stored, waiting for the hour when heaven would say, "Return it now," with interest. That hour was announced last night. That is what Michael is carrying. That is what I am telling you. Your season of lack is ending, your season of blindness is ending, your season of betrayal is ending. The truth is rising, and you will see it with your own eyes. Beloved, feel the fire in these words. This is not a soft message, it is a sword. It cuts chains. It severs lies. It burns through every barrier that tried to keep you from knowing who you really are. And if you stay until the end of this flow, you will not just hear about freedom, you will feel it, you will taste it, you will live it. Already, as you read, something is stirring inside you. Already, a heaviness is breaking. Already, your heart is opening to the possibility that what you thought was impossible is about to happen. And beloved, it will. That is the truth heaven fought to deliver to you. That is what was decided last night. Beloved, feel the fire in these words. This is not a soft message, it is a sword. It cuts chains. It severs lies. It burns through every barrier that tried to keep you from knowing who you really are. And if you stay until the end of this flow, you will not just hear about freedom, you will feel it, you will taste it, you will live it. Already, as you read, something is stirring inside you. Already, a heaviness is breaking. Already, your heart is opening to the possibility that what you thought was impossible is about to happen. And beloved, it will. That is the truth heaven fought to deliver to you. That is what was decided last night. Beloved, I must tell you what Michael whispered after the heavenly council was dismissed. His voice shook, and yet it carried a fire that could not be extinguished. He said, "My beloved still walks as though they are small, but last night heaven announced them as great. They still think they are ordinary, but their name was spoken in a way that shook even the highest angels." Can you feel the weight of that? You have lived so long thinking you were overlooked, unnoticed, perhaps forgotten. But heaven has been watching, waiting for the moment when your unveiling would come. And last night, that unveiling began. It is not coming, it has begun. Even now, as you read, alignments are happening in the background of your life. Conversations are shifting. Hidden documents are being moved. Doors that were welded shut are trembling on their hinges, ready to swing open. And beloved, let me give you another glimpse into what was revealed. Last night, the record of your enemy's words was read aloud. Every whisper, every false judgment, every attempt to paint you as something you are not, it was laid bare. Nothing was hidden. Nothing was spared. The angels who heard it gasped, because the deception was far greater than anyone realized. But God did not let those lies stand. He thundered, "Silence." And when he did, the voices of your accusers fell mute. Their words lost power, their weapons fell useless, their plots collapsed into nothing. Michael raised his sword and sealed the silence over them. Beloved, do you know what that means? It means no word spoken against you will stand from this moment forward. It means their accusations have been cancelled in heaven, and when heaven cancels, earth must bow. But let me ask you, why do you think you feel resistance, even now, trying to pull you away from this message? Why does your phone distract you? Why does your mind wander? Why does your heart tremble between believing and doubting? Because the enemy knows that once you fully receive this truth, he can never bind you again. This is the hour of decision, the moment when you either step into freedom or slip back into shadows. And Michael pleads with you, stay, my beloved. Don't skip. Don't turn away. Every word is a step closer to your release. My child, there is more. Last night, heaven's treasury was opened. Angels brought forth blessings with your name etched on them. Some were opportunities delayed for years. Some were relationships that were blocked. Some were resources withheld. All of them were restored to you by decree. Do you understand? What was taken is being returned. What was denied is being granted. What was withheld is being released. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but in the spirit it has already been dispatched. And soon, beloved, you will see evidence in your daily life, unexpected calls, sudden breakthroughs, alignments that make no sense to the natural mind. That will not be chance. That will be the result of last night's release. Beloved, take this line deep into your heart: you are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, you are not abandoned. The hidden truth is that you are beloved beyond words, chosen beyond reason, protected beyond measure. The enemy's greatest trick was to convince you otherwise. But last night, that trick failed. God tore the veil. Michael witnessed it. The truth is out. And now, you have a choice. Will you receive it, or will you let it slip? Beloved, hear me now. When God released that decree last night, all of heaven shifted in posture. Angels who had been standing in silence began to move. Messengers were sent out like flashes of lightning, carrying orders that touched places connected to your life. People you have not met yet, people who are part of your destiny, began to feel nudges in their spirit without even knowing why. Opportunities that seemed unrelated suddenly turned in your direction. Beloved, this is the truth. When God speaks your name in heaven, the earth cannot ignore it. Even those who resist you will find themselves helping you. Even doors that have long been shut will have no choice but to open. This is not a suggestion, not a possibility, it is a certainty, because heaven's word is final. And Michael, standing close to you even now, says, "My beloved, the reason I am in shock is not just because you did not know what happened last night. It is because you do not realize how much has been shifted in your favor. You are still walking as though nothing has changed, but the truth is that everything has changed. My child, imagine this, you are walking through your house in the dark, thinking it is still night, not realizing the sun has already risen outside. That is you right now. You are still holding your breath in shadows, but light has already broken. The truth is here, but you must open your eyes fully to see it. That is what this message is doing. It is pulling the curtains, it is opening the windows, it is flooding you with the light that was released last night. Beloved, let me tell you about the moment God turned to Michael after the council was over. He said, "Go, tell them. But tell them quickly. Tell them with urgency. Tell them that if they do not open this message, they will walk blind while their blessing passes them by." Michael bowed and said, "Yes, my Lord." And then he came to you. That is why these words feel different. That is why they pull at you. That is why you cannot scroll past them. Because this is not a human voice only, it is heaven's echo, calling you to stop, to read, to awaken before the window closes. My beloved, do not miss the seriousness of this. There is a window of time open for you right now. It is not forever. It is not indefinite. It is brief, urgent, burning. If you respond, if you open, if you receive, you will step into the full unveiling. But if you ignore it, if you delay, the window will shut. And once shut, the truth will not be easily revealed again. That is why God said, "Hurry." This is their last chance to know the hidden truth. Beloved, the weight of that statement cannot be taken lightly. This is not just another message. This is not just another word. This is the lifeline God threw into your storm. Take hold of it now, because it may not pass this way again. Beloved, let me tell you about the moment God turned to Michael after the council was over. He said, "Go, tell them. But tell them quickly. Tell them with urgency. Tell them that if they do not open this message, they will walk blind while their blessing passes them by." Michael bowed and said, "Yes, my Lord." And then he came to you. That is why these words feel different. That is why they pull at you. That is why you cannot scroll past them. Because this is not a human voice only, it is heaven's echo, calling you to stop, to read, to awaken before the window closes. My beloved, do not miss the seriousness of this. There is a window of time open for you right now. It is not forever. It is not indefinite. It is brief, urgent, burning. If you respond, if you open, if you receive, you will step into the full unveiling. But if you ignore it, if you delay, the window will shut. And once shut, the truth will not be easily revealed again. That is why God said, "Hurry." This is their last chance to know the hidden truth. Beloved, the weight of that statement cannot be taken lightly. This is not just another message. This is not just another word. This is the lifeline God threw into your storm. Take hold of it now, because it may not pass this way again. And here is what the hidden truth means in your practical life. People who doubted you will soon witness what they cannot deny. The very ones who questioned your worth will be silenced by what God does in your life. The very ones who tried to close doors will watch as new doors open that no one can shut. And you will not need to defend yourself. You will not need to argue. You will not need to prove anything. The truth itself will defend you. God Himself will prove you. And Michael will stand guard to make sure no hand can snatch away what has been released. Beloved, do you feel the stirring yet? Do you feel the trembling inside you that says, "This is for me"? That trembling is not fear. It is alignment. It is the vibration of your spirit finally catching up to what heaven already knows. Last night, the hidden truth was written into your story, and tonight, it is being revealed to you. All you must do is receive, stay, and believe. Beloved, there is something else heaven revealed last night that you must hear, for it changes everything you thought you knew. A record of your pain was brought forward, every betrayal, every tear, every night you cried silently thinking no one saw. And instead of those moments being hidden, they were displayed like jewels before the throne. Angels bowed their heads as they watched, because even they had not seen the full measure of your endurance. And then God spoke, "This one did not break. This one still breathes with faith. This one deserves restoration." At that moment, what the enemy meant for harm was transformed into evidence for your elevation. Do you understand? What tried to destroy you became the very proof heaven used to lift you higher. And beloved, here is what shocks Michael most: while heaven rejoiced over your strength, you still walked unaware of your worth. You still woke up thinking you were small, unnoticed, forgotten. That's why this message carries such urgency. Michael says, "My beloved, you must see yourself as heaven sees you, or else you will keep living as though you are in chains when the chains are already gone." That is why these words are not suggestions, not encouragements, they are decrees. They are fire burning away the lies that told you that you are less than what God declared you to be. Beloved, let me ask you something. Why do you think your life has felt so heavy at times? Why so many delays? Why so many sudden betrayals? It is because the truth of who you are has been under attack since the beginning. The enemy knew that if you ever discovered it fully, his power over you would vanish. That is why distractions, lies, false friendships, and unexpected losses kept circling your path. But last night, the enemy lost his final stronghold. God did not just expose him, He stripped him. He revealed his weakness, his empty threats, his false authority. And when God did this, angels shouted, and Michael's sword blazed brighter than it ever has before. Beloved, there is more. Heaven released a command for your restoration. Things you thought were too late will be restored in surprising ways. Connections you thought were gone forever will either return or be replaced by better ones. What you thought was denied will reappear as if it had been waiting for you. This is not fantasy, it is heaven's law. And heaven's law does not break. That is why you must hold fast to these words, read them again and again, until they sink deep into your spirit. Because as you align your faith, the blessings already dispatched will manifest in your reality. And beloved, God whispered something even Michael trembled to hear. He said, "This child of mine will soon walk into a miracle that will silence every doubt they ever had about my love." That means something specific is already on its way to you. It will not be subtle. It will not be something you can explain away. It will be undeniable, unforgettable, unshakable. And when it comes, you will remember this moment. You will remember that Michael tried to warn you not to skip, not to turn away, not to take this lightly. Because this message itself was the sign that the miracle had already been released. So, beloved, let me ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to step into a life where truth shines, where lies fall away, where blessings chase you instead of you chasing them? Because that is what last night set in motion. That is why this message is alive in your hands right now. And that is why Michael says, hurry. Open your heart. Don't miss this, not now, not when you are this close. Beloved, lean into these words because they are carrying more than sound, they are carrying a vibration of heaven itself. Last night when God's decree was spoken, it did not simply affect the present, it rippled backwards and forwards in time. The pain of your past, the wounds you carried like scars, were suddenly reinterpreted. What once looked like defeat was reframed as preparation. Heaven declared that not a single tear was wasted, not a single trial was meaningless. Every hurt was transformed into power, every delay into acceleration. And the angels cried out because they saw how masterfully God had woven every broken piece of your story into a crown that will rest on your head. This is why you must know the truth, beloved. This is why skipping this message would have been disastrous, because once you see the weaving, you will never again call yourself forgotten. So, beloved, let me ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to step into a life where truth shines, where lies fall away, where blessings chase you instead of you chasing them? Because that is what last night set in motion. That is why this message is alive in your hands right now. And that is why Michael says, hurry. Open your heart. Don't miss this, not now, not when you are this close. Beloved, lean into these words because they are carrying more than sound, they are carrying a vibration of heaven itself. Last night when God's decree was spoken, it did not simply affect the present, it rippled backwards and forwards in time. The pain of your past, the wounds you carried like scars, were suddenly reinterpreted. What once looked like defeat was reframed as preparation. Heaven declared that not a single tear was wasted, not a single trial was meaningless. Every hurt was transformed into power, every delay into acceleration. And the angels cried out because they saw how masterfully God had woven every broken piece of your story into a crown that will rest on your head. This is why you must know the truth, beloved. This is why skipping this message would have been disastrous, because once you see the weaving, you will never again call yourself forgotten. And Michael's voice trembles as he tells you, my beloved, you do not realize how fiercely you are loved. You think of yourself as one walking through shadows, but heaven sees you as one clothed in fire. Do you understand the depth of that? The very things you thought disqualified you are the reasons God has chosen to elevate you. The weaknesses you hid, the mistakes you mourned, the seasons you thought disqualified you, last night, they became the evidence of why you are chosen. Because through them all, you endured. Through them all, you did not let go. Through them all, you kept a flicker of faith alive. And heaven celebrates that faith like the rarest treasure. Beloved, let me show you something more. While you slept last night, an angel was sent to walk the halls of places where your name has been discussed. In meetings, in private rooms, in hidden conversations, your name was carried in. Some who spoke of you with doubt suddenly found their words changing. Some who resisted you suddenly felt compelled to help. Some who ignored you suddenly remembered you. These shifts were not coincidence, they were the result of last night's decree. God commanded, "Align the earth with my child's destiny." And the earth has no choice but to obey. This is why, in the coming days, you will begin to see sudden movements, sudden phone calls, sudden opportunities that make no sense. Do not call them random. Do not call them luck. Call them what they are, heaven's response to last night. And beloved, here is another truth: the enemy is terrified right now. Terrified because you are reading this, terrified because you have not skipped, terrified because the longer you stay here, the more his grip unravels. That is why he has tried to distract you, even in these moments. That is why doubt whispers in your mind. But do not listen. Silence those doubts. For even Michael says, their hour of influence is gone. My beloved's eyes are opening, and once they see, they will never be blind again. That is the power of this moment. That is why heaven shakes with anticipation every time you choose to stay one paragraph longer. Beloved, the hidden truth you must carry from last night is this: you are not moving toward victory, you are moving from victory. It is already won. It is already sealed. It is already written. The enemy wanted you to think you were chasing a blessing that was always out of reach. But the truth is, the blessing is already in your hands, waiting for you to recognize it. And this message, these words, this divine unveiling, it is the mirror showing you what you already carry. God says, "My child, stop striving, stop doubting, stop mourning. Look and see, I have already given it to you." And now, beloved, the question hangs before you like a door swinging open: will you walk through it? Will you step into the unveiled truth, or will you cling to the shadows of lies? The choice is yours, but heaven is urging, Michael is pleading, and God himself is waiting. For once you say yes, once you claim this moment, nothing and no one can ever steal the truth from you again.